Alright guys, what's up? This is Jay with Prepared Citizens. And we're going to be testing some tourniquets now. I hope the wind ain't too bad. This is my second time doing this. I got, let's see, 6 different tourniquets here. These are used in my medical classes. Also, I use them for demos. Also, day before yesterday, I did this exact same test with all of them. And the wind was so bad I didn't have my wind doomer dicky on my camera. So it was horrible. So I wasn't going to do that to y'all. What I got here, I'm simulating. This is water, big bucket of water. And then I got a nasty bucket of mud and the troll bucket that my daughter made for me. And it's nasty, okay? We play outside in the dirt, which all kids need to do. But anywho, we're gonna dunk them, and as I pull them out to go over them, you're gonna know which ones it is. Now a few of these I sell, and you're gonna figure out which ones they are. Good Lord, that is cold, and it's chilly out here. Camera up, they know I'm up to something. All right, here we go. Whew, I got everything good and soaked. Now we're gonna dunk it in the nasty mud water. Just get them all disgusted. So what this simulates, I don't even know if I finished that thought. What this simulates is if you're wearing your kit, you're doing some ops, and your tourniquet just gets nasty, mucky, just rough looking while it's on your kit. You know, if you have to go march through a swamp or something like that with your kit on, and you got your gear on you, if it comes a downpour, if you have to go swim through something to get from point A to point B, and your tourniquet gets disgusting, or if it just comes a downpour and you got your tourniquet on and it's nasty, will it work? Is it gonna hold up? Is that being wet and all gonna mess up the function of your tourniquet? So that's what this test is doing. It's just showing you that these things, even with all this happening to them, they're still going to work. And keep first. This is the SWAT T. I'm going to use it on my leg. We can see it pretty good, okay? I'm going to use it on my leg. This is nothing but an elastic band. It's pretty resilient to water. Pretty resilient to water, but it's slick, okay? And this is how I use it. This is not how they recommend. And real quick, I didn't say this while I was doing it. Woo, good Lord, that hurts. Which it should. And y'all are just going to have to trust me if these things are doing their job. But a while ago, you notice I took everything out of my pockets. Before you apply a tourniquet to someone's legs, check all their pockets. You don't want them to have knives or other tourniquets or something in there that's going to hinder that tourniquet doing its job. So always make sure. Okay, and this is the SWAT T, by the way. I didn't even say that. Good gracious. So this is the SWAT T tourniquet. I carry this one sometimes. This is very difficult, especially on an arm, to apply to yourself. As you saw to the leg, holy cow, and that's pretty numb. I'll give it another minute. But as you can tell though, it's pretty easy to apply if I got both my arms basically. And if I'm applying it to someone else, also very easy. These tourniquets, they work on kids and they work on animals as well. Alright, I'm going to say that's good. Alright, it's technically bad practice to take a tourniquet off yourself unless you're training by yourself like we are out here. My dog ain't got thumbs, so he can't do it. So, I'm telling y'all, training is over. I'm done. The SWAT T has done what it's supposed to do. I'm now going to remove this tourniquet. And I always say that out loud when you're training by yourself. You don't want to get in the habit of just ripping tourniquets off when you're training, because God forbid, under adrenaline you do crazy things. But God forbid you do that in person. Okay, that did really well. That worked. I recommend everybody getting out and training with this stuff, but this thing is so long. Wind's blowing pretty good, but you could cut this in half if you're having to work on kids, which is a horrible thing, but if you did, you could cut this in half and basically have 2 of these, because a lot smaller limb, you'll get a lot more out of it. So that's the SWAT T. It did good. Up next, oh, this is a good one. Woo, that one's nasty too. Check that out, man. This thing looks rough. This is the Slishman. I'm gonna do it to my other leg. This thing, yeah, wring it out a little bit. This thing, man, I tell you, Sam Slishman designed them, sells them, all that good stuff. Or you can buy them from me, I sell them. He's just the wholesaler, actually. But, so this is something kind of like the rats, or the SWAT T, excuse me, and the rats, but SWAT T, this will work on kids, adults, super easy, as you can see. Put the extremity in, pull it tight, you can go either way you want, and you just start going. Now this is actually called the Slishman Pressure Wrap, so it's not primarily designed as a tourniquet, but it works. It can work as a tourniquet. I'm going to turn that way. Okay, and that's what I'm testing it as, is a tourniquet. Well, that one's wet. That was real wet. Guys, that thing, that pressure wrap, I have used it a bunch. It's what I use for the demos when I'm showing people, all the police officers that's picked these up to have on hand for like children and animals. They all have seen me use this one. I've been using this thing for months now, and it is working. It works a little slower. I could have probably went tighter with that. Nonetheless though, this thing's been nasty. It's been done like this, stretched to this point bunches of times, and it's still working, which tells you what? You as the consumer, it tells you what? If these things, each of these tourniquets can take this much abuse, use, and training, if you can apply it 50 times and it never fail once, what does that tell you? Where's the confidence level for you when you buy that tourniquet just to keep in your kit and you never plan on using it until it's needed? That's a good sign that it's gonna work, because in training it's worked all this time. There's the cat, she had to get in here. Alright, that's starting to hurt, so it's definitely doing its job. The Slishman Pressure Wrap, good to go. I am now going to remove the Slishman Pressure Wrap. Training is over for that tourniquet. Whew. And the cool thing is, if you're wrapping and lose your place or it slips out of your hand, as you can tell, it's got those little Velcro tabs all the way around it. It's going to stay where it is. So, that's really neat. Alright, that did good. And I would say the leg is probably the harder spot to get, but either way, that thing does good, man. Y'all should have some confidence in that. I definitely do now, after everything I've done with it. Oh, now it looks like, what we got? Okay, let's do the rats. The rats. The most hated tourniquet on the internet, I believe. Guys, this thing works, I'm telling you. Alright, I'm going to do my left arm with the rats. Again, this is my training one. I don't know if you can see that, it says training. I've been using this thing for a minute. Probably, I don't know, I bet you this thing's been applied 100 times. Alright guys, here we go. Alright, guys, when you apply the rats, I suggest high and tight. Tight as you can go. Wrap this joker, pull it super tight, and wrap. Super tight, and wrap. And this joker is working good. Once we get to the teeth up here, I'm gonna go through a couple of times, as you can see, and I may even try to get one more. And with this much tail left, I could tie that off. I always put a knot in these things at the end, so it keeps them from slipping out of your hand. If it slips, good gracious. And that one's working really well. Really well. Guys, these things work. Everybody that knocks this, I'm like, oh wow. Where did you use the Wraps tourniquet training at and it didn't work for you? Crickets. I don't like that. If you're gonna knock a product, give me a field proven example where it failed and tell me how, because I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can make it fail too. That way we can start establishing if it's just a bad unit or if it's actually just a bad product. You know what I'm saying? So you may hear my neighbor's kids. They're out playing. It's a little chilly, but it's a good day. All right, guys, this is working. My arm's numb. Training with the Wraps tourniquet is over. It did well. I'm now going to remove it. Oh, goodness gracious. This is one I rotate through. I carry a lot of days too. And this works just as well on the legs. So yeah, Wraps tourniquet is good to go. All right, let's save the best for last. The ones everybody likes to see, the windlass. Let's go ahead and knock out this one. This is kind of a gimme. Y'all probably seen this one. Hope it didn't wet the camera just then. This is the North American Rescue Cat Tourniquet, guys. All right, let's apply it. This thing's been nasty. Golly, it's got some junk on it. Still pretty and blue though. These are used heavily in my training classes. This is the windlass tourniquet I teach people with, and any windlass tourniquet, that initial pull on the strap needs to be where 90% of the tightness is. Get that tail far around as you can. Now we're gonna use our windlass. And that son of a gun works good. If y'all ain't never done it, you should train. I like to put the tail back through once I get that tight. And then I'll put my little strap over. And that just keeps it from coming out. And you see how good, which that Velcro, with it being all wet and nasty, I'm starting to almost pull it away. When it's dry, it won't pull away. But either way, you could also tie this. You see this? You could go around and tie this. Some guys in the unit would do that. And that works really well too. If you're applying it to someone else, it's a lot easier to do that. If you're doing it to yourself, do this, get off the X, and you can fancy it up later. Whew, guys, that's working. Yeah, this thing's working, dude. Very, very good, very good. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call that one. That's working good. All right, so training for the North American Rescue Cat is good, and it is over. I'm now going to remove the tourniquet. All right, this one's going to feel good to remove. All of these have been doing really good so far, guys. All of them. I'm just gonna, there we go. Now we can just ease that off. All right. Got my shirt a little wet, but that is all right. Guys, so far so good. All these work. You should have full confidence in any of these if you own any of these. All right, I'll prep them later. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Oh, it got nasty. You guys may recognize this one by TacMed Solutions. I think that's the name of the company. This is the Soft T. Very good tourniquet. Also a windlass style tourniquet. For self-application, I prefer the cat a little more because just in crazy training, I have had this come out of that hook before by myself, but that is pretty uncommon. So, just trying to get some of my, there we go, maybe that'll work. Alright, let's get her tight. Ugh. Oh, come on. Oh, man. Holy cow. I may not be able to do any more than that one. Whew. Which is still pretty doggone good. I'm gonna see if I can get my triangle. Yeah, we got it. Okay. That one's pretty good. Yeah, that one's pretty doggone good. Alright, but yeah, if you want to, I'm sitting there getting sidetracked. The little triangle up there, try to get that T-handle if you can in the triangle. If you can't, as long as it's in these ears, you're good. It's basically the same thing as the cat, the North American Rescue. Function-wise, it's pretty much the same. Yep. Definitely working. Definitely working, which is good. If your arm starts going numb pretty quickly, there's a good chance you applied that pretty good, that circulation is starting to be very limited or cut off completely to your arm, which means you did right by the tourniquet. You did it properly. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and call that one. So, training with the Soft T tourniquet is good, did its job. I'm now going to remove the tourniquet. Whew. Alright. Come on, baby. There we go. Alright. That one's nasty, too. Alright. Soft T is good, guys. And last but not least, probably the one a lot of you have been waiting on. So this one is also in my store right now. We also sell this one. And make sure I don't wet my camera. It is the Rhino Rescue cat tourniquet. So pretty much exactly the same thing as the North American Rescue. A lot of you may recognize it. It looks very familiar to, let's do it on the right one, to the Recon tourniquet, cat tourniquet. North American Rescue sued them, and apparently someone took that design to China. And now, I don't think North American Rescue can get their hands on them now because they're in China. So, yeah, that's a complicated situation. But for now, this is a pretty affordable way to have a cat tourniquet that works. Alright, here we go. Oh, goodness. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Get in there. There we go. Okay. Whew, I'm gonna do the same thing. Kind of fish my strap in there. Again, I hope I didn't wet my camera. I just got water all over me. Put my tab over it. As you can see, this is my training one. And again, just like the cat tourniquet, you could tie this off if you want to, off the T-handle end that's sticking out. Alright, and again, this is doing good. Guys, this tourniquet's been applied, oh my goodness, probably 100 times. I mean, no joke. 100 times, I bet. I tried these when I went to Tactical Response for Immediate Action Medical earlier this year. They were testing the Rhino Rescue brand stuff because North American Rescue is hard to get sometimes. It's very understandable. And I don't know if they're kind of like back and forth on the Soft T. This is working very well. Yeah, the feeling is gone. But anyway, so it's, you know, we want to offer affordable ways to have good quality And the only way to know if it's good quality is by testing it. Now, again, these are made in China. The Chinese tourniquets you find on Amazon that are cat tourniquets, those are junk. I'm telling you, I used them. If someone don't believe me, there's already plenty of video on YouTube's showing that, proving that. But if you don't believe me, I'll buy a couple and show you. Rhino Rescue brand cat tourniquets so far have worked very well for me. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this because that's really numb now. These have worked well, guys. So, alright. Rhino Rescue tourniquet training is over. It worked. I'm now going to remove the tourniquet. Goodness. Whew. Okay. Good deal. Woo! And guys, so that's really where this come about, is a way to offer people a solution that works for an affordable price. And hey man, if this thing fails, y'all will be the first to know. Okay? And I promise you, anything on the Prepared Citizens Training Group website that I sell, I have tested it. Other people have tested it alongside of me, or I actually got the information from them, and so I decided to test it myself. And it works. There's nothing on there. The FACs we sell on the website, my wife's vehicle and my vehicle right there, that both of my kids ride in, by the way, I have FACs in them with the same equipment I sell all of y'all. So, guys, it works. I'm not going to sell you anything that I don't trust myself. So, let me get soaking wet out here with 40 degrees. I do this, guys, so I can show y'all that it works. It's very important to me that you guys have the confidence that I do and the experience that I do. Get out there and train, guys. You know, I'm just a dude on YouTube, so you got to kind of take my word for it that they're working. But I'm telling you, get out there and train. Test some of these tourniquets. Anybody that comes to one of my classes, I got all these there. You can test them, use them, so you get to experience that. And that's why I have all these. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you got any questions, please drop it in the comments. If you want to purchase the Rhino Rescue, the rats, or a Schlissmann pressure rat, please visit my website. I'll put it in the link below or description. And please come check us out. Pick up a medical kit. You won't find one for a better price that does the job. And guys, thank you so much for watching. Be an asset, not a liability. God bless. Catch you on the next one.